Hi, I'm Tanya with Schnubs.com, and we did a little comparison today. We did chalk paint versus Schnubs. I've never used chalk paint before, so this was a new experience for me, and they're totally different paints, but also both very useful and popular. So we wanted to kind of give you the comparison side by side. The chalk paint application was a little more finicky than I had anticipated. It was a thicker paint and left more brush strokes. It distressed rather nicely, but it just was not a smooth finish. I felt like it would get really dirty really easily. The texture of it would lead to all the little grimy fingers that are at my house touching them and leaving dirt in grooves that would be hard to clean. The second coat on the chalk paint, again, just required a little more effort in trying to get it right. We sanded between layers. For the chalk paint, there were lots of texture bumps, like I said, from the brush that sanded down a little bit, but not all the way. It also sanded off the corners really easily. It wasn't providing a lot of coverage on that first coat on all of the edges of the door. It looked really cool distressed and was very easy to distress if that's the look that you wanted. But if you didn't want it distressed, it was hard not to get those edges sanded off as we were going between coats. On the chalk paint door, after we applied 2 coats of paint, we sealed it with a wax that's made for chalk paint. That applied fairly easily. It does require that you let it dry for 24 hours before buffing it, so that one did require more dry time. The wax gave it a little more of a durable finish. I felt like maybe it would wipe off dirt and just stuff that happens in a kitchen would wipe off a little easier after the wax, but it still had quite a bit of texture. We next did the Schnubs side of the door, and we prepped the door a little differently by degreasing, deglossing, scraping it, and then applying the paint, and it just rolled on super smooth. We kind of got done and went, is that it? I guess we let it dry. You know, it just seemed to be a lot simpler than the chalk paint was, at least for me in this application. For the Schnubs, we sanded between coats and again just rolled on that second layer, and it's like, okay, I guess we're done. For the Schnubs, we don't have to apply a top coat. It is sealed in and of itself. So once you do all the coats that you need to get the coverage that you want, you're finished. There's nothing else that needs to be done there. As for drying time between the 2 paints, I felt like they were kind of similar. The chalk paint was dry to the touch, but still a little tacky, a little moist, whereas the Schnubs dried more completely quicker, but neither of them had super long drying times. I feel like if I were to use chalk paint again, I would use it on something that no one was ever going to touch. It just does not seem family friendly in that way to me, but the Schnubs holds up great to all kinds of life. All right, we have here our Schnubs versus chalk paint all finished up. I want to note here that this is Emerald Pool in a high gloss. Most of our kits, in fact all of our kits, come in a satin. You would have to request gloss if you want it this shiny. I brought Brielle out here today to help me tell you guys about some of these differences here. Brielle, will you feel the green one and tell them what it feels like?
It feels like super soft.
Super soft, yeah. Are there any bumps? Is it rough? No.
It's smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, feel the white side. What does that feel like?
That feels like not smooth, only scratchy.
Scratchy, a little bumpy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot bumpy.
Which one do you like?
Because it's super smooth.
You like the super smooth one?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you have it. 4-year-olds love Schnubs. Okay, that's it for chalk paint versus Schnubs. If you liked this video, give us a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comment down below and we will try and help you out in the best way that we can. To see more videos from us, subscribe to our channel. And as always, check us out on Schnubs.com.